All right, we are heading out to the back deck. Gonna get it all planted up with our summer annuals. Hi, welcome to my channel. So last week I planted up my front porch containers. We went with a lot of the proven winners, Supertunia, Vista, Bubblegum, and then the lemon slice, those are Supervells. And then we did purple fountain grass, a few more things, and it was really fun. I loved how it turned out. I'm excited to watch it grow, but now it's time to plant up our back deck. So my thinking this year, and this goes back to last year actually, so let me explain. Typically, I like to plant up a wide variety of plants in my yard. So for example, last year on my back deck, I did a lot of cool tones, lavenders, kind of chartreuse, silvers with like a dusty miller, whites, things like that. And then out front, I went very bold and bright with the fuchsia. So it was just different. I like the variety. I like to walk around and see different types of plants and flowers. But at the same time, last year, I kind of made a mental note that it might be nice to try out a little bit more of a uniform color scheme, just to make things feel a little more consistent, cohesive, and just kind of add to this overall wow factor. So that's what I'm doing this year. So because of that, I'm using very similar plants to what I used on my front porch. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm working with. You can see things are a little messy out here. I've already got my pots topped up with some fresh potting soil and compost kind of mixed in, and then I did add in a little bit of flower fertilizer into the soil. So everything's nice and mixed in and ready. And then here we have our plants. So these are the same three here that I talked about on my front porch video. I'll give you a quick rundown. This is the Supertunia Vista Bubblegum by Proven Winners. Very solid, hardy, fast-growing plant. It does a really nice job, creates a really pretty wow factor, and just grows really big. I'm hoping that the Supervells lemon slice can keep up. I'm going to be careful planting these next to each other. I keep telling myself I'm going to keep the bubblegum kind of trimmed back so it doesn't just whoosh encroach upon our little lemon slice, but we'll see. Okay, and then as my thriller, I thought it would be fun to use the Lime Time Coleus. And yes, this is Coleus that can go in either full sun or shade, and it's supposed to grow about 40 inches tall. So I thought it would make a really nice thriller. All right, so far we have our thriller. We have kind of our spiller filler. Okay, 1 and 2, right? Okay, and then I thought it would be really nice, since we have the chartreuse here, I didn't want to go with a chartreuse sweet potato vine, so I went and found some of the dark ones. So we'll do something about like this. I might add in another bubblegum, we'll see, but this is kind of what I'm going with. And let me tell you, I had to search high and low for the dark sweet potato vine. Let me see. This is a full sun red heart sweet potato vine is the one I found. There is one that's a little darker, but I could not find it. So I figured, you know what? This is good enough. Out front we have the same kind of dark purple color with our purple fountain grass that I used as thrillers. And I thought it'd be kind of nice to have the same scheme. So I just basically swapped my thriller and my little filler spiller. But have basically the same colors out here. Here's a little breakdown of all of my flower tags. This one does include the chartreuse sweet potato vine. This is the Sweet Caroline light green by Proven Winners. I only used this in one pot because I had one extra from my front porch, but everything else is listed here just in case I went a little too fast earlier. And what I like to do is tape in my little container recipes just like this into my little garden notebook so I can make notes and comment on if I liked it, what went well, what didn't go well, and so forth. So these 3 pots I put on this little shelf. It kind of hides my pole that holds up my string lights. But these 3 are gonna sit right here on this shelf, and what I'm thinking is just putting 1 bubblegum in each. I might just need 2, and if that's the case and they start really overgrowing this space, I'll just pull 1 out, put it somewhere else, and it'll be just fine. Okay, and then up here you can see I sanded down my table. I'm experimenting with letting it kind of gray out to a natural kind of coastal look. Normally every year I restain it. Let me see. Okay, right here, kind of this teak color. I ran out of little sanding rounds, so I need to finish getting that off of there. But I think it might look kind of neat. We'll see. I might end up staining it. But I do have a little centerpiece. I'm thinking of putting 2 of the bubblegum in here and letting them kind of spill out. If they get too big, all of this is fixable. So nothing is set in stone. If my plants start overgrowing their containers, I can make adjustments as needed. So nothing's too critical or fixed in stone. We do have this pot right over here. You can see I got our trampoline up this year. I didn't last year. It's kind of an eyesore, but it's nice and tucked in back here, and my kids love it. All right, my furniture has seen better days. I'm not replacing it. I'm not replacing the cushions. I talked about replacing them last year. I'm not focusing too much on that. I will get it kind of cleaned up, blown off, tidied up, but mostly focusing on planting today. All right, we've got a couple more plants to go. You can probably tell that when I was filling in my fresh soil, I topped them off a little too full. Normally I like to leave a little bit of space so that I can move the soil around as I'm, digging little holes to pop in my plants. You can tell I was kind of having to pile it up. I could use, like a bowl and pull it out, put it in my bowl, and then top it back off. Preferably, I should have just left a little bit of room and then come back through with more soil after everything was planted to kind of level off the soil. But either way, we're getting it done. All right, I think we're about there. Got everything planted, watered in, and tidied up. So all of my pots are pretty small. None of them are super tall, super huge, which is fine, but they do fill in really nicely. I didn't go too much into how I plant my plants, but I did go over it kind of in my last video. I like to use the thriller, filler, spiller method for the most part. So basically your thriller is kind of your centerpiece or your striking plant. I put mine here in the center. Sometimes if there's a definite back to a pot, like it's in a corner that no one sees the backside, I'll stick my thriller in the back corner and then fill everything in the front. But in this case, I stuck mine right in the middle. And then I don't have definite fillers and spillers because I feel like all of these plants kind of double as both. Your fillers kind of create the volume, the lushness, the, you know, eye-catching display, and then your spillers kind of trail down and create that nice full cascading look. So I feel like Supertunias, Supervells, and then sweet potato vines do that. They kind of fill up and then spill over. So that works just fine. All right, we have our pot in the corner here. I thought about putting this guy in the corner, but I kind of want these two to match a little bit because when we're sitting here, and this is where we sit a lot because it stays shaded the most out here, and I kind of like having these pretty similar. Here's our little garden cart looking very cute. These get a little bit of shade down here, so they're a little more protected. I'm curious to see if they're going to do better or worse, but each one has lots of room. It has its own pot. Like I said earlier, if this starts to really boom and fill in too much, I can just easily whoop, remove one of the pots, put it somewhere else, and I think it'll be really cute to kind of have flowers here and kind of our edibles up here. All right, and then I did stick two of the bubble gums in this little container. I know it's small. Like I said earlier, if it looks like it's not going to be big enough, if these start to struggle, I can move them and adjust things as needed. I just put two in. I put one kind of cascading this way and then one kind of cascading this way, so hopefully they kind of balance. But I'm thinking if these do grow like the bubble gums tend to do, this thing's going to fill in and be really eye-catching, very pretty, very lush out here on our table. All right, and then we have this kind of more narrow pot in the corner. Last year, this was really pretty for most of the summer, but I did pack it too full. I had like a purple fountain grass in here, tons of plants. I've really tried to show a little bit of restraint this year and not planting quite as many plants, but planting plants that definitely grow to be very big, very vigorous. So I don't know, maybe that kind of cancels out my efforts, but I'm trying. But we have our Coleus. I did stick that in the back since we don't see this very well. You can only see it from down there. And I like to kind of try different things. So we have our Coleus in the back, Bubblegum, our dark sweet potato vine. This one was kind of the one that was struggling a little bit. I probably should pinch off this leaf and just let it start fresh. And then our lemon slice Superbell. All right, and then coming down the way, this tends to be the pot that is the most striking. So I stuck in the dark sweet potato vine as well as the chartreuse, and then our bubblegum, lemon splice, and then Coleus as our centerpiece. I'm really excited to watch this grow. Like I said earlier, it's supposed to get like 40 inches tall, which is like, we'll see. Very fun to try different plants. All right, and then over here, like I said, with my furniture, I'm not replacing anything. The cushions was kind of a pain last year when I was looking for new cushions. I was comparing costs and it really was looking like the cost of all new cushions would be pretty comparable to buying new furniture. So we'll see. This works for now. But I just tidied everything up. We're looking forward to using our little chimenea for having some fires out here, and just enjoying some nice summer evenings on the back deck. Feels good to have another area planted up, ready to go for summer. Everything feels brighter, fresher, and just ready to be kind of lived in once it's planted up. So I'm excited. We like to eat outside a lot. We like to grill. It's just one of those things we look forward to all year, so we want to get the most out of it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.